You're probably looking at the channel and noticing that there aren't that many shows anymore, are there? That's because, we're doing a different theme this year, that theme being 2, maybe 3 shows a week due to, needing to move on in terms of working for a living. But don't see this as a negative thing. Maybe the shows in the new year will be better. Maybe the shows will be grander, more interesting, more insightful, more in-depth. They probably won't. So to compensate for there being fewer shows this year, this is the top 7 other YouTubers to watch. A list of channels that make content similar to our own, sometimes even more often than what we do, that will probably fill in the gaps. It won't make you miss this content as much, and they're generally really good channels that I hope you will enjoy as much as I have. So with that being said, let's get it started with number 7, ROPName. This is the channel of one of our friends. He does a lot of video game content just as we do. Well, he hasn't technically made a video in about 5 months, but when he does get to actually making videos, he tends to focus a lot on interviews with creators, either of video games or video gaming content, and a bunch of smaller games, Romanian games. He has a review of Grey Dawn, which is a game that I sort of missed out on this year. You'll find plenty of other content on his channel, including an interview with me that has 79 views. Just goes to show how dreadful it is to have me on your channel. Like, the views are just gonna plummet. But hopefully when he does post new content, you'll have something to watch. And you could just always go back and see what other stuff he uploaded during the past couple of years. Number 6, Level 1 Tech. Now, if you're familiar with what used to be Tech Syndicate, you probably know Wendell. Well, Wendell has his own channel now, Level 1 Tech, and it's amazing. It is mainly hardware focused, but it is amazing at it. The depths to which the channel goes to when investigating hardware and even creating hardware, creating software, like Looking Glass, which is a great thing if you're into virtual machines and passing through, actual video cards, you get proper acceleration. It's a great channel to watch if you're into really in-depth hardware stuff and if you're into just laughing your ass off. They have a 3 times a week news show that is absolutely hilarious. And most of all, it's presented by people that have knowledge on the subject, on technology. So it's not just fun for entertainment purposes, it's educational as well. And on occasion they have court trials with action figures for Intel chips. It was a thing they did once. It worked. Number 5, The Nostalgia Nerd. Yeah, I know the name may be a bit confusing since there are like 5 or 6 people out there with similar names. Then again, Gaming HD itself is a kind of a stupid name to have because there's like 50 channels with that name. Like, we have HD Gaming HD as our actual channel name because Gaming HD was taken, so let's not get into that. The Nostalgia Nerd is developing content similar to what I would say the Lazy Game Reviewer does. Historical based content, stuff about old games, about old hardware, and he does a really good job of it. More importantly, on occasion he will upload old TV shows about video games and comment on them from the perspective of somebody that saw them when they were first aired. There is value in that, especially since some of these shows can't really be found on the web all that often anymore. And the commentary does help give them some context about when they were made, about the people involved, and all that stuff. The Nostalgia Nerd also makes some great documentary series, I would say, about older game systems. There's a 2-hour retrospective about the Amiga and how it was developed, how it evolved over time. You've got pretty much anything you would want to know about, from the Acorn Archimedes, from the olden days to the Amstrands to the Sinclairs. Pretty much any old system that's out there that was the least bit popular, he has made a show about it. It's a channel I very much recommend you checking out. Number 4, IndigoGaming. If you like short videos about older video game series, small retrospectives about what Looking Glass used to do, what Troika used to do, or 1-hour videos about how the Elder Scrolls has changed over the years, or 3-hour interviews with the creators of the Elder Scrolls series, then this is the place for you. There are a lot of videos to go through, and they are all very well made. I especially recommend the video entitled The Elder Scrolls: A Promise Unfulfilled because it is fantastic at highlighting how the series has changed over the years and how Bethesda changed with it. Now, the channel doesn't upload videos all that often, once a month, sometimes once every 2 months, but it is absolutely worth looking at, especially the interviews with the creators of the Elder Scrolls series. That is not something you're gonna see all that often. And I do believe that IndigoGaming is actually in our Discord channel, so if you got questions, you can probably ask them about stuff. Number 3, Matt Barton, also known as, well, the Matt Chat channel or Black Lily 8. This is a criminally underrated channel. I have videos with more views than some of his, and that is an absolute crime. Matt Chat is part retrospective, part showcasing of newer games that adhere to certain sensibilities of ye olden games, but especially he has some amazing and absolutely superb interview series dating back for almost a decade. He has an interview with Ralph Baer on his channel. He's interviewed pretty much everybody in the gaming industry, like the real OG people in the gaming industry. He even interviewed Brian Fargo before In Exile was cool. The stories you'll hear in his interviews, they're superb. Like, you will have a new perspective on things. Some of my favorites include the series he did with George the Fatman Sanger, who did the music for a lot of the Origin games. And these are not short interviews, they can take hours, and they are great. And even outside of the interviews, the normal content with him playing older video games or newer games that try and sort of imitate the feel of the older games that we used to have back in the day, those are great too because they come from the perspective of somebody that wrote the book on old RPGs and old video games. Like, he actually wrote multiple books about the classical ages of video games. He also has an unhealthy obsession with rats, and well, he has a drinking horn and he uses it in every video to rate brews that he comes across. It's a mixture between a video game channel and an ale critic channel, if you will. It's a strange mix, but it fits magnificently. Sadly, he seems to have been struck down by the vile YouTube algorithms because, well, I've seen issues where his videos do not appear in my feed, which is kind of a bummer. And some of his recent interviews, like with Steve Ince, like, the Broken Sword, you know Steve Ince, they don't even have 1,000 views. That's just wrong. How can they not have more views than the stuff I make? That's sad. Still, for about a decade, he's been posting videos almost each week. There have been some moments where he has taken breaks and wasn't able to upload regularly because he is a teacher. He has a day job like I do now. But you're gonna find a lot of content there, and more will be on the way without a doubt. Number 2, Noah-Caldwell-Gervais. If 1-hour videos are your thing, then how about 2-hour videos? How about a 3-hour retrospective, a detailed analysis, a 3-hour detailed analysis of all the Neverwinter Nights games? That is what Noah-Caldwell-Gervais makes. Videos that are hella long and very detailed and very insightful, and they are, without a doubt, some of the finest work I've ever seen on YouTube in terms of analyzing video games, in terms of everything: gameplay, story, characters, narrative, themes, aesthetics, everything. This is as deep as I've seen video game analysis, video game critique go. Now sure, it does take months and years to make these videos, which is why there will be maybe 9 or 10 videos a year, which is hopefully not as few as I end up making in the future, but all of them are worth it. They are all absolutely worth watching. This is the kind of stuff I wish I could do. The kind of dedication I wish I could put on a single subject and hammer at it until it is done. But even if I'd had the time, I have doubt I'll be able to do something as good as what Noah-Caldwell-Gervais has created. And number 1 is StefaNonsense, previously known as Complete Nonsense or C-Nonsense. Steven, as you may know, is the co-host of the Game Tales podcast series. And it dawned on me, I never really gave Steven an introduction. Well, he makes videos about pop culture, which includes movies, TV shows, sometimes board games, and especially video games. He tends to focus his channel more on smaller video games, not AAA stuff that already has all the attention it sort of needs, but smaller games, older games, games that resonate with him at a certain level. Now, his PC has been broken for half a year and well, turns out it wasn't the motherboard at fault, so new content for his channel is trickling in quite slowly, but once his PC is up and running, you should see more content on the channel. Also, there's the collaboration thing we're doing with the secret thing that we're trying to make over the course of next year. It's not gonna be a weekly thing or a monthly thing, it's gonna be a when it's done thing. But in the meantime, go and check out his stuff. Well, that would be for the top 7 other YouTubers to watch. I'm gonna give a few special mentions. If you speak Romanian, check out Națiunea Jucătoare. There have been a lot of videos on that for a while. I think I actually missed on making the holiday edition of the Worms Armageddon match, which is maybe we'll do one for the new year. But there's a lot of videos about comic books and about old video games. Also check out the 8-bit guy if you're into old computers, how they work, how they can be restored, and all the jazz associated with them. Also, he has the channel 8-bit keys if you're into old school keyboards, the ones that sounded like the music from Monkey Island or Alderman. He does a lot of music from Alderman on those keyboards. You know, the synth stuff, the MIDI sounding stuff. You may also want to check out Strat Edgy Productions. There are a lot of videos dealing with different topics regarding to individual video games or video games in general. You may also want to check a look at Adam Miller, the architect of games. He deals a lot with how video games are made and why. I especially recommend the video where he highlights the problems that Civilization currently has. Refactorizing 4X, the Civilization problem. That's how I found the channel. And of course, check out the Lazy Game Reviewer. Well, he's got over 1 million subscribers, so you probably already know him. He does a lot of historic video game stuff and a lot of sim stuff as well. It's a great channel if you're into older hardware and games. So go ahead and check out their stuff, maybe subscribe, and hey, tell them I sent you. Actually, don't. Better not do that, it may freak them out. Most of them have no idea who I am, so it's better that you don't mention me. It may seem like I'm trying to harass them or something. So just be chill about it, okay? Be cool. Well, that'll be it for the first top 7 of the year. Probably won't be the last. I'm still tinkering with how these shows are going to be distributed over the weeks. Maybe I'll do a top 7 in 1 week, and then the next week a history, and alternate between them. We'll see. It's technically still December when I'm making this, so I haven't officially started the new job yet, so I'm not sure how things play out. But I made this in advance to make sure that there will be some content on the channel in the first second, sometime in January. Goodbye.